Former CIA Director John Brennan is describing the president's summit with Vladimir Putin as, quote, treason. That seems a little over the top, and yet, amazingly, many otherwise responsible people have raced to endorse that assessment. We asked the president about it in Helsinki, and here's what he said.
Well, I think Brennan's a very bad guy, and if you look at it, a lot of things happened under his watch. I think he's a very bad person.
Someone who does not think that the president's meeting with Putin is treason is Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, and he joins us tonight in the studio. Senator, thanks a lot for coming on.
Glad to be here.
So the former director of the CIA, you think of that as a sober-minded person, a responsible person, kind of a James Bond with maybe an advanced degree. Here you have a naked partisan nutcake describing a press conference as treason. How should that make us feel as American citizens?
It makes me wonder whether he should be getting a government pension if he's going to be disrespecting the commander-in-chief, calling the president treasonous. That's about as overtop as you can imagine.
But treason is a death penalty offense. He's describing views he disagrees with.
Well, yeah.
Is disagreeing with someone's opinion the same as betraying the country?
Well, you have to realize John Brennan started his illustrious career by voting for the Communist Party. You know, that's who he wanted to win the presidency back in the 70s, so he voted for the Communist Party. When he came to be head of the CIA, I filibustered him because I thought he was bad news from the very beginning. And I think what you've seen is, and what should worry us all is, this is one of the most powerful people in the world who has the ability to destroy anybody in the world and gain information on anything you do, any American, any foreigner, the head of the CIA. And yet, with all that power, he was coming to work each day with a bias and a hatred of the president. It should worry us all. You know, what other things could he possibly have been doing with that power? So I'm a big believer that we need more checks and balances on those in the intelligence community. James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper. We need much more surveillance of the watchers.
It's just such an irresponsible thing to say. Look, it's not a defense of the president or any figure to say accusing someone of treason is a very big deal. You kind of wish the Congress were exercising its oversight role more aggressively. I know you're trying. I want to ask you about Montenegro. A consensus has formed in Washington today that America has a moral obligation to protect the territorial integrity of Montenegro. If Montenegro is attacked, Americans have, again, a moral obligation to die to protect Montenegro. Do you think that we do?
No, and here's what people who have talked about NATO expansion have said. They have said, when you add Montenegro, does that add to our national security, or does it actually increase our strategic risk of war? And I think it's more the latter, that when you add a Montenegro or an Albania, or actually we have a resolution before us in Congress right now that I've been opposing that says that anybody in the world who wants to join NATO, anyone who is qualified, can. That means we could have 50, 60 countries. That means we could have Equatorial Guinea in there. And if Mali attacks Equatorial Guinea, somehow we're going to have a world war.
Who would back something that lunatic?
Well, we had a vote, and I tried to strip out the any aspirant could join NATO, and I lost 20-1. Every member of the Foreign Relations Committee voted against my amendment, and all my amendment would have done was strip out the section that says that we invite any aspirant to join NATO.
Do you believe that the average American has any idea that we are obligated by treaty to protect countries that nobody in America can find on a map? Do people know that?
Nobody knows that. And here's the interesting thing, and this is where the president gets it and nobody in Washington does. People in Washington are unified that everybody should be in NATO. The whole world should be in NATO, even if there were former Soviet satellites. They want to put them in NATO, oblivious of the fact that that could get us involved in World War III. But if you come to Kentucky or you go to Tennessee and you ask average Republicans, average Democrats, do you think we should put every country in NATO and defend every country in the world? Most people would say, hell no, I don't believe that.
Because it's insane. Senator, thank you for bringing this to public attention. We should at least have a debate on it, and I know that you're trying to force one. Thank you.
Thank you.